welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, back. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all, what's good? What's poppin'? Your girl SHAI.B with some king crab, some shrimp, and some cucumbers. Got my DameDash dipping butter sauce, some lemons. And y'all, for our drink today, cause y'all know it's Mental Health Monday. For my drink today, I don't have no type of sparkling water. I don't have no wine. All I have is some guava pineapple Welch's. Okay. And I also did bring my welcome back Snackiessss cup back. So let's pour this up. Maybe I should take this part. Maybe I should do that. I'm gonna drop nothing. All right. Okie dokie. That was a little. That wasn't even no drip, y'all. That was a little sprinkle. A little sprinkle of ASMR. All right. Cheers. Baby, that Welch's. Be on point. All right, anyways, let's snack. We'll get one of these shrimp first. Woo! Making me feel the way. My bad, y'all. Who listened to Kiani? I think that's how you say her name. I was just listening to her. Her song called Feel Away. That thing fire, y'all. It's already trying to come out, so I'm gonna help it. Oh, he was little, that's why. I think I'm gonna have to start ordering my crab legs from Great Alaska again because Costco been kind of slipping. Y'all see that? Hey, ma'am, your bell ringing too much. We're gonna put some lemon on here because I know y'all like lemon. Y'all, she's spinning in a circle right now. Please disregard all that noise. That's good. Woo! All right, y'all, let's get into this Mental Health Monday topic. So y'all know I decided to start using my empowerment cards. Just in case anybody who wasn't here for the last 2 Mental Health Mondays. We've been pulling a random card from out of the deck, and then we go over it. And you know what? I don't know if I told y'all this, but what I'm really liking about doing it this way is I need a refresher too, you know? Like, I'm human. I ain't perfect by a long shot. You feel me? Like, y'all, I worry excessively about things sometimes. Like, and my whole entire life, I've been, my mom been telling me, stop worrying, stop worrying. You can't believe in God and give it to God and still worry at the same time. Like, that's an oxymoron, you know? Dang, that feel. Try to get the girl. Ooh, yes. I hope these little press-ons. These was the ones with the adhesive already on it. I don't like these kind of press-ons. They move too much. But our card for today. Hold on, y'all. I just realized they got the more on that grass. Alright. So, our card for today is take responsibility. For better or for worse, you're responsible for everything in your past and your future. Don't blame your parents, your teachers, or your boss. Take it on yourself. Now, there are some exceptions to that. So I ain't gonna say blame it. This is for an adult, not for a child. Okay? Even though it mentioned teachers, like, because some stuff in our lives we didn't have control over as kids. And the truth is, it is our parents' fault. However, we have to give them grace just like we got to give ourselves grace. That's what that boils down to. Because some people, first of all, there's no handbook on how to raise a child. Some parents was growing up with their children. Mistakes happen, right? However, what I like about this card is it's telling you not to negate your blame on anybody else. Like, take responsibility. Take responsibility for your mental health. Take responsibility for the failed relationships in your life. They always say when you point one finger, it's 2, 3, 4, 5 pointing back at you. We not innocent in a lot of things, you know, especially when it comes to things that affect us. We have control over that. When it comes to dead-end relationships and we keep getting treated bad, we have control over that. Why do you keep allowing that person back in your life if you know that they have showed you who they are, right? We have to take responsibility for some of that. That first time, nah. Like J. Cole say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I can't put the blame on you. Fool me 3 times, okay, never mind. Peace sign, pull out the truck. Okay, never mind. Y'all love me some J. Cole. Y'all watch our anniversary video from last week Wednesday, you'll know. But even when it comes to those who hurt us in a consistent way, we too have to accept responsibility in that role because we allowed it, you know, if it's something that's continuous. So what I really want to drive home though is about just relationships and your mental health. Take responsibility for things that broke down. Take responsibility for things that you could have said differently, that you could have handled differently. Like when you look back, hindsight, you could be like, you know what? I could have handled that way better than that, you know? She just had a bath yesterday, last night. Me and her daddy was around here slaving trying to, let me not say that word, but it was a lot of work. Oh man, my crab meat still in there. Cause she don't like getting her hair cut. I don't know how much is it, but I'm talking about mental health Monday and I'm getting off track. Cause she over here shaking, y'all. I'm sorry. But I'm gonna give you an example. So I had this one friend, y'all, and both of us like to debate. So both of us would have like our perspectives on different lives or whatever. And I think, well, in my immature years, I didn't realize, or I didn't have insight on the fact that when you are having relationships with people, platonic, intimate, it doesn't matter, friendships, all of that, right? There's still a certain way that you have to handle people. You know, in a video with my best friend, he told you, like, growing up, I was very blunt. Not to say that's a bad thing, but again, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? So that friendship eventually didn't work out, and I was partly to blame, you know, because at the end of the day, I didn't always handle my communication in a healthy way, and I can't blame her. You know, I couldn't say it was all on her. You have to take responsibility for those things, you know. When it comes to mental health, you know, and we say for instance, y'all know, like, stressing can eventually lead to like depression and stuff, you know, depending on what else is going on in your life, right? And we know, we'll say, okay, it's official, I'm depressed. But then what are you doing? What are you actively doing to change that, right? And that takes a lot. That's a big first step for somebody that's depressed, right? But that's also taking responsibility for your mental health and starting. We got to start somewhere. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. We got to start somewhere to start addressing, right, the triggers, and then start utilizing healthy coping skills. And it's hard, you know, because sometimes, just in general, like, not even talking about a client, just, you know, I've told you guys in the past that I have a sister that's bipolar, right? So there was a lot of times with her mental health that she just would not, she would not be addressing stuff. Like, you know, it would build up, she would spaz out, she would have a manic episode. You guys know what manic episodes are. If you know anything about bipolar disorder, then you would know what a manic episode is. And it's not that she didn't have the support, it's not that we didn't want her to get better, but at the end of the day, it fell on her, you know, on how do you want to live your life, how do you want to communicate, how do you want your relationships to succeed, you know? And a lot of times when we have these unchecked mental health issues, like, our relationships, our loved ones, they are the first to suffer. Because they're the ones that's closest to us. Our job may not suffer until months down the line, sometimes years down the line. The ones that suffer immediately are our friends, our loved ones, our spouses, our kids. And we have to take responsibility for that, because listen, unchecked mental health causes trauma and pain to those that we love, right? So me and my sister, we've had plenty of talks, because there's been plenty of times, y'all know I'm a softie, okay? Like, yes, I'm going to speak my mind, because I've addressed that before. That's how my mama raised me. However, I'm also very sensitive, so I have a lot of empathy towards people, and I try my best, especially now that I've learned that it's not what you say, it's how you say it, and that's been ingrained for so long. I try to always address people with empathy and try not to let my emotions dictate my communication. So with that, I'll get silent sometimes. Oh y'all, I really would, and before I like really address anything, because y'all know hurt people, right? So if I'm still hurt and that hurt is fueling me, it's no way possible for me to also address and take responsibility for what I need to. Because when it comes to that relationship with my sister, it's not all on her. It's not all on her bipolar disorder. It's also on me too. And what I may be doing that's triggering her, right? I have to take responsibility for that. She has to take responsibility for her behaviors, how she acts out, how she may not be addressing her mental health the best way that she can, right? But I too have to understand that I may be doing something, and it's all about intentions, right? It may not be that I'm doing this intentionally, but I have to take responsibility for that. And I think that's the hardest thing about, matter of fact, I know for a sure fact, the hardest thing about taking responsibility is that we confuse, a lot of times we confuse taking responsibility with taking on blame, right? They're not related, right? Or if we take responsibility, we feel like we are at fault, that we are in the wrong, right? And that makes us defensive. That makes us not want to admit that, you know what, we played a part in this, right? But you have to start being honest with yourself. Just because you take responsibility for your role in a situation does not mean that your intentions were unpure. It does not mean your intentions were to cause that pain, that hurt, right? It doesn't mean that your intentions was to self-harm yourself by continuing to deal with that dead-end toxic relationship, right? Taking on that blame is just saying, look, you know what? I could have handled this way better than what I did. I'm not to blame for what they did to me, but I could have handled me way better. And that's it. That's all. Like, bottom line, 100. When I do family sessions, with, because y'all know, well, if y'all don't know, I may have like one, as of right now on my caseload, only have one adult client. Everybody else is kids. But in doing that and having it that way, you also have to address like a lot of parenting with the kids parenting, because therapy is not just for the kid. Like, yes, the focus is on them. However, we have to make sure that their environment, the communication, like at home, that home environment is also conducive in them being able to not only establish progress, but to maintain that progress, right? So if I'm doing therapy with this kid and I'm teaching them healthy communication, I'm teaching them how to negate triggers with healthy coping skills, right? But at home, the parent may be still triggering them, not knowing, or the parent may be still verbalizing stuff in an inappropriate way. Then my 1 hour with that client, or max 2 hours with that client, is not gonna have a bigger impact. You feel me? If that makes sense. And that's how I know, like, when it just come down to the things that we've been through, the behaviors that we have learned, a lot of it comes from my parents not knowing any better. You know, you can't blame them. They know they did the best they could. But we know now, so now we got to do the best we could, which should be better than what they could do. Make sense? That was good. Y'all, there's so much in my head that I want to say, like, but I didn't have a conversation with my mom prior to this. I don't know if she'll care, but like, I feel like, I don't know, I just always been so vocal. But prime example, I feel like at some point everybody had beef with their parents, right? Especially when you a teenager, right? You be beefing with them like, ugh. So as a teenager, I felt like I blamed my mom for a lot of stuff, right? And for a good little while, from like 18 to like 21, for a good little while, we struggled with our relationship because she couldn't understand that my experience did not invalidate her experience. My experience didn't say that she was a bad parent, just that she wasn't always the parent that I needed as far as like emotions and feelings, right? Not talking about like housing and, you know, necessities, okay? Because we ain't never want for nothing. But we struggle a lot with that. Like, it was hard for her to take responsibility, right, for the way that her parenting style affected me. And it doesn't invalidate her, but it just wasn't what I needed. And that's something I struggle a lot with my parents of my clients these days, because they're so ingrained in how we were raised, or, you know, even some of our older parents, how they were raised. And the truth of the matter is that the way we were raised, it's not that it was inadequate. However, most of the time it worked for our generation. These new kids, listen, the 90s and 2000 kids, that's a whole nother generation, boo. They like aliens, okay? They don't function. They just different. They built different. So if you want to be able to have that type of common ground with kids of the new generation, like mid 90s and 2000s, then you have to change some stuff. And that's just the reality. And it's not that you're giving up or you're giving in or anything like that. It's just they built different. You can't parent them the way we was parent. Like, they built different. But anyways, y'all, I kind of just was rambling. My battery then said, my camera said it's time out. You done made it to 24 minutes and some change. But y'all, shouts out to our post notification person. Shouts out to you, boo. Hey, shouts out to you, boo. Hey, I feel like we can do this. That's what that Snoop Dogg be doing. Y'all saw the versus battle. Okay, let me listen. Y'all already know. Be who you are, be beautiful. Don't forget to take care of yourself, because what? Self-care matters. And in the words of the beautiful Auntie Tabitha Brown, y'all have the most beautiful day. And even if you can't, don't you dare go disturb nobody else's. I love you guys. Peace. That car showing out.